Hello, knitters. This is Jessica with Knit Chats. I am the lefty knitter with Knit Chats. I'm here to show you two different ways how to start a long tail cast on without using a slip knot. So let's get into it. We're going to put the tail yarn over the thumb, and we're going to put the working yarn over our index finger. Coming up underneath the yarn with the needle, we're going to hold the yarn against the needle with the right index finger, pull back into a slingshot, go underneath the thumb yarn, around the index finger yarn, and back through the thumb yarn, or the loop that the thumb creates. Only for the very first loop, you'll get 2 loops. For the rest of the stitches, you'll just get one more. We'll just add one more. Under the thumb, around the index finger yarn, and back through the thumb loop. Under the thumb, around the index finger yarn, and back through that thumb loop. See? Usually when we start knitting, we first learn how to create a slip knot to begin our cast on. And this leaves a slip knot, on the edge of our knitting permanently. But with this way, no knots in the knitting. Now the second method I'm going to show you is when you have a really long cast on number, maybe 200-300, estimating the yarn that you need can be really challenging. Even with the wrapping method around, wrapping the yarn around the needle, you can grossly over or underestimate the yarn you need, which may or may not change the outcome of your project. So to combat that, I use 2 ends of yarn. So sometimes I will wind off the same ball I'm using. Other times I will wind both balls, and they're more than likely the same color. Sometimes you'll want a 2-color cast on. If you want a 2-color cast on, use a 2-color cast on. But for the sake of demonstration, I'm using 2 colors. So we're just going to gently knot the tails, and you're going to leave at least 4 inches so that you can weave in your end, okay? We're going to do the slingshot method again. Anything over your index finger, the yarn over your index finger is going to be the yarn that lands on your needles to make your stitches for your first row or your round. The yarn that's over your thumb is going to create that cast on edge. So we're going to put the needle over top of the knot, and I'm holding the knot. I'm just gently squeezing it. Don't tighten this knot so that you can't get it out, because at the end of your project, you're going to want to unknot that and then weave in the ends so that you don't have a knot in your knitting. So again, we're going under the thumb yarn, around the index finger and yarn, and then pulling the yarn through the thumb loop. And that's our first loop. Don't worry if it's a little loose. It's fine because you're just going to weave in that end and you'll be able to fix the tension. Under the thumb yarn, around the index finger yarn, and pull it through the loop. And I'm going to continue with this, and then I will show you what it looks like after I have a number of stitches. And, as long as you're using a fresh ball, you never run out of yarn. So you don't have to worry about estimating. And there you go. I hope you enjoy our 2025 knitting tips and tricks. We do have some crochet ones sprinkled throughout as well. We're happy to have you. Thank you for being part of our community. Happy knitting!